few weeks ago, I did a video on Bloody Mary, R.I.P., from BANGlN on Wax. She is the one who had the most infamous, iconic verse on the project, in my opinion, on the song PlRU Love. Now when the biddy of Bompton, Lime Hood is down with the mob, Hollywood and Cross Atlantic off of Bompton Boulevard. Every town has an Elm Street, but not a Freddy Krueger. Don't get caught in the jungles or a park called Looters. On Rosecrans, past Oleander, at the light tree top is to the left, Fruit Town is on the right. I mean, come on, we all know the verse, right? The video I released on Bloody Mary a few weeks ago got a lot of love, so I wanted to read some of the comments from the comments section about Bloody Mary and her legacy. The link to the full video is in the description. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Now, let's get to some of your comments. Cam Dios says she still holds the crown with the best Damu verse in history. The first verse in PlRU Love. I mean, I agree. She set the tone for this song. She completely set the tone for the song by just naming all of the blood and PlRU hoods all around the city. And yeah, I definitely think she kicked it off, and it's a legendary verse. Let's see. Mo Shang Pate says, R.I.P. to my home girl, Bloody Mary. I miss you, mama, and wish you was still here in the Yay area, blowing big like we used to. Oh, man, I would have loved to blow one with Bloody Mary, man. R.I.P. to her. Let's see. Terry Sanders says, R.I.P. Bloody Mary, the hardest female verse ever from the BANGlN on Wax album. I mean, the hardest verse, period, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Male, female, whatever. It was the hardest verse on that whole album. Let's see. Shandwa Gaines Jr. says, BIP Bloody Mary, Big Y, Red Rum, Forbent, Buntree, Heron, Hen Dog, V-Dog, Mossberg, PlRU Love. I loved her verse on that song. She killed it. Sorry, but the Bloods won on the BANGlN on Wax. Too much talent. You know, there has always been that argument throughout the years. What side was better? The C side or the B side? What side was better? The blue team or the red team? Which side was better? Steady Dippin' or PlRU Love? In my humble opinion, the Crips definitely did their thing, and there were some legendary verses on that C side as well. But man, in my humble opinion, I gotta say, the B team, the red side, yeah, they came out victorious lyrically on this project. Just my personal opinion. Let's see. Gulerman Clean says, love to the Damus and Lokes from Brooklyn, NYC. R.I.P. Bloody Mary. She was dope AF. Shout out to Brooklyn, New York, man. Yeah, it's a trip that people all over the country were bumping this album. And let's see. Blackmail78 says, I'm from Philly, and even I know how hard Bloody Mary's verse was. It was a master class on the B team. Yeah, man, shout out to Philly. And Bloody Mary definitely opened it up and gave you a tutorial, for lack of better words, gave you a tutorial on the sets right here in Los Angeles County. Let's see. Hassan Burton says, BANGlN on Wax made Billboard. Impressive. Shout out Bloody Mary and Big Y. R.I.P. y'all. Yeah, man, it definitely made Billboard, and they were going neck and neck with some of the Death Row Records artists back in the day. And Suge Knight was taking note. Who are these guys from BANGlN on Wax that are neck and neck on the Billboard charts with us? They sold, man. Their numbers were impressive, and I hope they monetarily got what they deserved, even though I heard a lot of them weren't happy with the payout. But, you know, I definitely hope they got what they deserve, because it was a great project. Let's see. Banco678 says, classic Dusty Vision content, deep stories about the history of Los Angeles rap. Thank you, Benko. That's what I'm trying to do, man, because the West Coast history hip hop history specifically is very, very deep, and our history needs to be told. I mean, shout out to the East Coast, much love to the East Coast and all that, but the West Coast history runs deep, and that's my job, is to give you guys content that tells our story, because if it weren't for people like me, no one would be telling our story. So I appreciate the fact that you find this content classic. They say deep stories about the history of Los Angeles rap. You are in the right place. Let's see. LB2 Real says, I'm so out of the loop. I didn't know she passed. She had skills and set the track PlRU Love off righteous. I used to keep that song on heavy repeat. The production was amazing, and Red Rum 781 definitely finished up that last verse on the track strong. May she forever rest in peace, as well as Red Rum 781 and all the other fallen soldiers from that iconic project. Yeah, man, Red Rum 781 is one that we lost way too soon. Young brother, and he was the one who ended the track PlRU Love, and his verse was just as strong as Bloody Mary's, and that dude was one of the reasons why the B Team were even part of this project. Red Rum was one of the more instrumental people in this project. A lot of people say that if it wasn't for him, you know, it wouldn't have happened, for lack of better words. So shout out to Red Rum 781. I'm so glad that he left behind some good music, because dude could spit, dude had flows, and he was a real one, man. So shout out to Red Rum 781 and all the fallen soldiers from this iconic album. Let's see. EBK Dog Mouth Renegade says, all the hardest gangster female rappers are deceased now. Bloody Mary, Boss, Gangsta Boo. Man, RIP to all those sisters, dude. Bloody Mary, Boss. Boss was hard. She was from Detroit. You guys remember Boss? If you guys aren't familiar with Boss, man, or hip to Boss, you definitely got to go down that rabbit hole and check out Boss, man. She's from Detroit. And of course, we can't forget about Gangsta Boo. R.I.P., man. Some legendary female MCs, man. Hood Baby 334 says, she was gorgeous. Yes, she was. She was a beautiful woman. R.I.P. to the lovely Bloody Mary. Let's see. Carvel Davis says, excellent interview. Peace. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in, and I appreciate you. Just please, spread the word. Spread the word about my show. That's all I can ask. Word of mouth is the most powerful advertising. And before we continue, I'm going to ask you guys to hit that like button. If you haven't already, please just smash that like button real quick before we continue. I do appreciate you just hitting it right there. Bam. Smash it. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. 98sta Reputable says, when I heard her for the first time in 93, I always thought she was a man. I was flabbergasted, amazed when I found out the one with the hardest verse was a female. Yeah, I did hear that. I did hear a lot of people say that they thought Bloody Mary was a male or a man, even though her name was Bloody Mary, but that's a whole other story. But I mean, I guess you can I guess I can see that. She had kind of a deeper voice than normal, and she was spitting bars, and it's just so hard to believe that the hardest verse on that entire project, in my opinion, my humble opinion only, came from a female. Let's see. The Great Fuss says, everybody back when it first came out who didn't know her thought it was a man until they saw her. She was hella hard as fuck. She got down on her verse. Yeah, there you go. I mean, apparently a lot of other people did, but in fact, she was a very, very beautiful woman who was just taken from us way too soon. From what I understand, she passed away in a motorcycle accident. She loved to ride motorcycles, and unfortunately, that's what took her very young life. Oh man. Let's see. Hater Heartbreaker says, long live Nene. I do believe that was her real name. Shout out to Nene, aka Bloody Mary. Quentin Clay says, Vice Lords and GDs were banging in Memphis since the 70s. Yes, B's and C's are in Memphis now, but Memphis has historically been and still is ran under Chicago guidance. He's mentioning something that was brought up in the interview, and once again, the link is in the description if you want to check out the full interview where Bloody Mary is discussed. But I do believe Memphis was mentioned in that interview, and my man Quentin Clay is clearing up things, saying that the GDs were banging in Memphis since the 70s. B's and C's are in Memphis now, but Memphis has historically been and still is ran under Chicago guidance. I don't know much about the Memphis culture. I have interviewed people from Memphis, but I'll take your word for it until someone else corrects you in the comment section. So shout out to Memphis, man. Much love to y'all. 1976, ABs said she was dope. Rest well, queen. Yeah. Rest well, Bloody Mary. Rest well. Ron MS7LR says, this was nice info. What about the Lyrical Assassins tape? Compton's Most Wanted and Chuck Smalls. Still can't forget. Sit back and relax because I will be doing future content on that, my good friend. You know your stuff. Gerald Parker says the dope game and the movies took gangbanging global. Music played a part too. Oh, that is so true, dog. That is so true. I mean, movies like Boys in the Hood, Colors, South Central, Menace to Society. These are all movies that showed the world what was going on in Los Angeles, and it romanticized it, and it made other people in other cities want to do what we were doing in Los Angeles. So yes, that is true. Movies had a big impact. And not only that, the music, man. And not only that, the dope game. All of these things put together was like a perfect storm, was like a peanut butter and jelly mixture of situations that just, you know, just really spread gangs across the country. You had dope, you had albums like Bangin' on Wax, and you have movies like Colors. And yes, they are definitely responsible for taking gangbanging global. Not just in this country, global, ladies and gentlemen. Bangin' on Wax was a global phenomenon. And I have talked to people in the past, once again, who have told me that when Bangin' on Wax came out, the next day, there were B's and C's all over their country. When Colors came out, the next day, there were B's and C's all over their country. So yeah, music and media play a big part. Let's see. Paranoia D says, I still remember her entire verse. Same here, man. I could literally recite it word for word. And it is a textbook flow. It is a lesson on Compton history. Let's see. Lonell Livingston says she was on Lil Kiki's album before the B's and C's album. She's from Ohio. I met her in Linwood in 1991. She is definitely from Ohio, that I have read as well. And she was, in fact, on Lil Kiki's album. Shout out to Lil Kiki from NOTS, Niggas Off the Streets. They had their own situation going on with the guys from Bangin' on Wax. They were not happy with their sets being dissed, and there was a lot of friction, and so much so they even released a song. NOTS released a song titled Busters on Wax, where they called out the members of Bangin' on Wax as being not real ones. But shout out to Lil Kiki, shout out to the team over there, NOTS, True Blue, all of that. Let's see here. There you go. Yaya1435 says True Blue was the realest to ever do it. If you guys haven't checked out the True Blue tapes and gone down that rabbit hole, I would definitely suggest you guys check out the True Blue tapes. You will really, really appreciate them if you appreciate 90s West Coast hip hop. Rebel TV, shout out Rebel TV, says Tweety Bird Loke's album was hard. I was like 12 years old bumping that. Yeah, you were one of the very few, as well as I, who had that Tweety Bird Loke tape. I bought it from Underworld Records right there in Compton on Alondra and Castlegate. They had an independent record shop right there ran by Big A, the homie Big A, who is still doing his thing to this day, Compton legend. But Tweety Bird Loke did release a project, and it was an underground classic, dude. And he was going at certain people. He even went at NWA I do believe Tweety Bird Loke, and Tweety Bird Loke even went at Tim Dog, because Tim Dog had that song called F Compton. So Tweety Bird Loke was like, yeah, you ain't gonna be saying F my city without me responding. So Tweety Bird Loke ended up banging on Tim Dog as well. Tim Dog was an artist from New York. If you're not familiar with that, go down that rabbit hole as well of the F Compton series. Let's see. She had the best verse on the entire album, if you ask me. Yep, many people would agree with you on that. Nino America says, hey bro, do you allow people to make reactions to your content? Will you strike me if I react to some of your content? I think your channel is highly underrated, with all due respect. Thank you so much, Nino America, and shout out to Nino America. Make sure you guys go follow Nino America. He has some good content over there as well. I got the chance to look at some of his stuff, and him and I have conversed offline via DM, and we will be doing some stuff together in the near future. So shout out to Nino America. Big Bro 4266 says, I had this album when I was little, always wondered how they played that out by being rivals. I see now. Yeah, we tell the story right here. Link is in the description, so please click on the link, and we tell the story about how the rivals were brought together. I mean, people who were enemies, deadly enemies of each other, they come together, and now they are making this classic project where they're going back and forth at each other. Shout out to the G Lou show, man. G Lou, my homie G Lou. If you guys are not subscribed to the G Lou show, please go over there and subscribe to G Lou. That's GLEW. He says great stories and history. Thank you so much, G Lou. G Lou has some dope content over there as well. He's a real good dude. He's been on my program before, so please subscribe to the G Lou show and tell him Dusty Vision sent you. Let's see. Chance Black says, I still have all 3 of her albums. Dang, like that, dude? Okay. Shout out to Chance Black, man. He has all 3 of her albums. That's pretty dope. Let's see. Thundy Media says, checkerboard floor. Checkerboard floor. I get what you're saying. So there is a theory that the checkerboard is related to things like the Illuminati and stuff like that. And okay, I see where you're going. If you look at the BANGlN on Wax project, the one where the B side is on one side of the album and the C side is on one side, they are all standing on a checkerboard floor. I didn't really realize that until you said something right now, but interesting. Yeah, go down that rabbit hole about the checkerboard. Oh, wow. You guys caught that, huh? Smart. I got a smart group, man. Let's see. The bad guy says, Domino is still here. Yes, Domino is still here. Domino was on the C side, and he was probably the standout, if in my opinion, on the C side. No disrespect to anyone else on the blue team, but Domino, who went by Genuine Draft on that project, a Long Beach native, definitely did his thing on this project. He even went on to release some good music, man. You guys probably remember the song Ghetto Jam. The Ghetto Jam is about to slam with some help from the day. As I see what's really going on. So shout out to Domino, man. He represented well. Let's see. Mo Beezy says RIP Geek. Man, yeah, RIP Geek from Geek and Noise. They were highly responsible as well for this project. So shout out to Geek, man. I'm going to do a future project on Geek. Let's see. Vince Bourne says, honestly, I'm from this era. Mary could actually rap. She should have made it in the rap game. PlRU Love is a classic. The Bloods could rap. The Crips was dirt dog dude. Okay, no, we're not going to say the Crips were trash. No, the C-side wasn't trash. It wasn't trash at all. They did their thing as well. But if you ask me, the B-side was a little harder. The B-side was a little bit harder, if you ask me, and a lot of other people. But let's see. Ja Grant says, I thought she was a dude since 96. Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one. Let's see. Antoine Morgan says, so the industry plant concept isn't so recent after all. Going back to the checkerboard floor. Ooh, man, look that up. Checkerboard and industry plant theory. Look that up, guys. It's very interesting theory. I'm not going to cover it today because YouTube doesn't like when people talk about stuff like that, but I will encourage you to go down that rabbit hole. And let's see. Lastly, Crimson Max says, the way she sounded, you would never thought she looked like that. Her verse on Rip A, C in half is just bananas. Very, very beautiful woman, man. Such a beautiful, beautiful young lady. R.I.P. to Bloody Mary. Thank you for leaving us with this legacy of yours, this great verse that will withstand history. I mean, it's going to be around forever and ever and ever. And you were a big part in this project. So thank you so much, Bloody Mary. Thank you all for checking out my my channel. And once again, the full video, the full link is in the description. The link to the full video is in the description if you want to go down that rabbit hole and check it out. This was one of my more popular videos this past few weeks. So I thought I'd just hop on here and just read some of your comments and show you guys some love. So if you guys did enjoy this and you want me to do more of this, comment down below, let me know, and I'll do it again, man. I definitely would love to read your comments on future videos. So comment down below, even on this video. Let me know what you think. And please do, like I said, hit that like button if you haven't already. Just go on and smash it real quick for me. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. I'm also going to ask you guys to subscribe to my second channel right here on YouTube. It's called Dusty Vision Radio. It's my second channel right here on YouTube, Dusty Vision Radio. I'm at almost 3,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to get that bad boy monetized by the end of this year. And I put completely different content on that channel than I do on this channel right here. So if you enjoy hip hop, if you want to go real deep into some West Coast 90s hip hop, some G-Funk especially, please subscribe to Dusty Vision Radio right here on YouTube. I'm also going to ask you to follow me on Instagram, Dusty Vision Radio, and please also follow me on Facebook, Dusty Vision TV. Thank you so much, and R.I.P. Bloody Mary.